right, welcome back to 12 Rounds of Drilling with Tony the Tiger Lopez. That's me. And then, oh yeah, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, say something funny or say something serious. Whatever you want to know about, we can talk about whatever you don't. We haven't said something, we might say it. I'm here today with Jake.
Jake Ingebrigtsen.
Yeah, like I said, Jake. Now, Jake is Jake's here today because I know him. You're related.
I'm related.
Okay, he's related to a friend of mine that lives back in
Raleigh, North Carolina, but he's from Sac.
Yeah,
from Roseville.
There you go. And so he used to be a sheriff in Sacramento.
Yep.
Really good guy. Helped me a lot in my bail bonds business, because that's run by the sheriff's department. And we became friends, and he's a really cool guy. I met Jake through him because Jake is doing something that should have been done a long time ago for athletes. It's actually what you're doing is really good. It's going to help athletes, old and new and upcoming, a lot. Yep. It's going to take a lot of pressures off, a lot of time, a lot of, and the best thing is we get paid for just doing what we do or doing what we did, and that what we've already did, we already worked for. So go ahead and tell about what you're going to do.
Yeah. Well, basically, I want to tell Tony's fans, I'll be handling Tony's through the mail autograph requests. So if you guys have something you want signed by Tony, you would just go to my website, autorequest.com, and that's request plural with an S at the end. And you'll have simple instructions there on what to do. And Tony will sign pretty much anything. Is that right?
No, anything.
Anything.
I don't care.
Okay, not pretty much anything.
Anything. Yeah.
So, and there will be a fee associated with it, but it's well worth it because it will be authentic. And
that's a good. Are you going to send a thing about authenticity?
Well, my plan is simple. It's just I'm just gonna offer a full money back guarantee. If any autograph I ever handle fails any third party authentication, I'll just refund the money, no questions asked. It's that simple. Yep.
Okay, but there's not going to be a thing of maybe you should. I'm just trying to help you out. Maybe you should give something of that paper about authenticity.
Yeah, the letter. Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Just a letter signed by me.
Yeah.
Saying. Maybe just stating, I back this 100%.
Yeah.
If it fails, let me know. I'll refund you your money.
And if you're not an athlete or you know one, or your brother, family, mother's, father's, dad's, brother's, cousin, aunt, friends, whoever is one, and maybe they're busy or because watch, there's some people out there that really don't get autographs of stuff in the mail from. I mean, here and there. That's because people probably don't know how to get a hold of him.
Yep.
And if he's going to have I guess you're going to have a list on your website.
Yep. And I am working. My network's pretty wide, so I am working on that. I do have actually a couple of calls this week with some other retired athletes and an actor too. And I'm not going to name who, but there's definitely a need for this, and I would expect my business to grow pretty rapidly.
So it's just not for sports celebrities; it's for actors and anybody that's got fans anywhere.
Yep, absolutely.
Rockers, R&B players, oldies.
Absolutely, and and for you, Tony, it's at no cost for you.
Yeah. That's the best part.
And I think there's a need to just connect fans and autograph collectors with the people that sign, and because it's such a convoluted mess right now that it's really hard. It's hard for people, and somebody like you you'd love to sign. It's just people don't know where to find you.
Yeah, and it's fun because he'll come out and meet with the celeb that needs to have it done, or at least he is now. Because if it grows, I mean,
I'll be traveling.
Okay. And you can talk to the guy, say, hey, this is what I'm willing to sign, this is what I'm not willing to sign, this is, and he asks you. Don't ask me, I'll sign anything. Hurt near. Now, there's some things I ain't going to sign, but most of it I'll sign. But, and that's, what's one-on-one with him is he'll come out to you, which makes it really, really nice and easy. I bet you there's, watch, Sacramento, there's a Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. And it started a few years ago. And I've never known knew that there were so many sports celebrities here from Sacramento. Sacramento has a ton of sports celebrities. And I'm just talking sports celebrities. But watch this. So, in saying that, watch this. So, what's the name of your business?
Auto Request LLC, but the website would be autorequest.com.
So, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, they go to www.what?
Auto Request, request being plural.com.
Okay. So now they got that way. So because when I talk, I just keep my tongue just rolls. He already knows me. And Sacramento has so many celebrities that we have Raider players here, basketball players, baseball players, Greg Vaughn. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I found out that I went to school with a guy that played pro football, and he was always a little dude, right? And I go, he played pro football. He was smaller than me. I'm going, he played pro football? You know, yeah, man, he was bad. He was a lineman for, I forgot, some place, some other football team from another, not from California. And I don't remember what it was. And so I go, really? He goes, yeah, man, he was a lineman. He was a lineman? And I guess he did really well. And so I'm going, wow, you know. So then I started, from that conversation, from that day, and that was years ago, I started paying attention to how many celebrities does Sacramento actually come from Sacramento. And it's a ton. If you go to the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame, is because of COVID, they haven't had one yet, but TC Martin runs that. He's from Las Vegas. And he's going to start again next year. And it's a great thing. And I'm in 7 Hall of Fames. And out of the 7 Hall of Fames, I'm just saying they're all great. They're all good. There's not a bad one to be in. But the thing is, and I'm just saying, and not because I'm from Sacramento, but to be honest, one of the nicest ones is the Sports Hall of Fame for Sacramento from TC Martin. It's a really great event. People are friendly. It's just they have great athletes, and I've never knew so many sports celebrities are from Sacramento. And I'm going, wow, because there's a book and it shows all the celebrities that are in the book, some that are coming up, some that have been there. And I'm going, it's a book. And I'm going, that's a lot of celebrities from Sacramento. Man, we don't give Sacramento enough props. We really don't. You name it, we got it, you know. And Sacramento, remember, I'm 60 years old. I came from a cow town. Remember that? Everybody said, "Oh, Sacramento's a cow town," and they were right. There were a bunch of cows around here, you know.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, a couple of little farms and a house here, not very many. And you go down 99. I remember 99. Well, I don't remember it, but I remember it used to be a 2-lane highway. You know, now it's how many lanes? All the way to LA?
I think 5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you know, it's just Sacramento has a lot of sports celebrities. Now, I want to, because I'm a boxer, I guess. Let's talk about the fight last night.
Okay.
You know, what did you think?
Well, you know, I want to preface by saying I'm not I'm not an expert in boxing by any means, but you know, it was really interesting. One of the things that was interesting watching the what would you call them, the warm up fights leading up to the main event.
The prelims.
Yeah, the prelims. The commentators were kind of all over the map as far as whether they got it right or wrong. There were that one with that what was his name, Pertino, where everybody thought that Martinez was just going to kick his ass, and that kid held his own.
He did.
You know, I think they said he had fought his last fight at a country club, and he was really surprised to get an invite to fight on this big stage, and I thought he really did well. And you know, commentators just expected him to just get smoked, and you know, he did eventually get TKO'd, but you know, he held his own, and it was kind of fun to see that.
Some of the preliminaries when you watch a big fight, you know, which is kind of sad because you can watch the fans that are there live. It's fairly empty, and then by the time the main event comes, it's a packed house.
Yep.
but watch, and I remember fighting some of those preliminary fights for big fights, and the sad part is sometimes they miss the best fights because the best fights. Remember, they're trying to get to that title fight.
Yep.
These guys they're it's their time to showboat.
Absolutely.
It's their time to shine. So if you're a fight fan, then I would think you'd want to go see the preliminaries and watch the guys that are trying to get to the world title status, because those are going to be your best fights of the night.
Yep.
Because they're gonna man, these guys. I remember doing it. I remember being one of them preliminaries, and you're going, hey man, it's my day to shine. This is my time to show the world what I can do.
You're fighting for your career.
That's right. And guess what? So is your opponent.
Yep.
Guess what? Makes a great fight. So, a lot of times some of the better fights are the preliminaries. So if you're out, if you got a title fight coming somewhere in your town, anywhere in the USA, go watch the preliminaries. You can always shine back to that one day. You go, you know what? I knew he was going to be a champ. I seen him fight this one time because you went to go watch the preliminaries. Hello,
Yep.
So that's always good. Now on the there's a couple of fights prior to Canelo's fight last night that we were talking about, the guy in the white shorts.
Yeah, Gollins, I think was his name.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he beat Sparks, and I thought Sparks got robbed in that fight. Absolutely robbed.
Okay, what? And I agree with you. I thought Sparks should have won. We were watching the fight together. I thought Sparks should have won. But then again, we see a different angle than they see. If you really think about it, if you're watching a fight live, you're so focused on the fight, you don't see everything. Since we have TV and angles here and angles here and angles from here and angles from here, we see it all. So we see things that the judges don't see. We see punches that watch. If you're watching a fight live and you're watching it from this side, and what if he's throwing the right hook and right uppercut? On TV, we see that. In live, we don't really pay attention to it. Some might see it. The people from the other side will see it.
Yeah, the judges only have one perspective.
Yeah. So sometimes you think, man, what were they watching? But I guess when you're there and you're watching a fight, it's a different story. That's why there's always two versions of every fight: the TV version and the live version.
Interesting.
It really is. And so sometimes people jump on and I get it because I do it too. I'm not saying I'm innocent, but sometimes you go, man, what fight were they watching? But sometimes it's just, I've seen a couple of fights where it's just common sense. That dude got whooped.
Yeah.
And then he ends up winning. I'm going, what the hell?
Yeah. See, and I thought that was to an extent the case last night. That again, I'm a layman. I'm not an expert. But I thought Sparks was the better fighter. And what I think cost him was he did get knocked down once. And I think that, I don't know how heavily that weighs on a judge's decision, but
yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah. Watch, I used to be an amateur judge for USA Boxing. And then I used to be a referee too. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. And you know what I enjoyed is, I think all the kids knew who you were, and if you were going to be a ref or a judge that day, they really they came up to you. They shook your hand. They said, they're really good about it. They're really cool because you did what they're trying to do.
Yep.
So they respect that. And so what I would do is I would go to so if any of you amateur judges or trainers out there, here's a good idea, because it worked for me. I'd walk to, you have your blue corners where they're dressing at, and you have your red corners where they're dressing at. So I'd walk into each one of them and I'd say, hey, if I referee your fight today, here's what I expect out of you. And I would tell them all, look, if I say break, no more punching. You take a step, each of you take one step back. And when I say fight, you come out swinging. Sit. If you don't, I will deduct points. I go, if you don't listen to me, I will deduct points. If I have to talk to you more than 3 times, I'm going to start deducting points. And I look at them, I go, don't lose this fight on points. And I'm serious as a heart attack. And all the fights that I've done, because I did it for like about a year or 2. And then out of all the fights that I've done, one time, I had these 2 girls that were fighting, and this one girl kept hitting the girl in the backside of the head. She did it twice the first round. I walked to her corner. I told her, can't do that. Don't do that. So I walked to her corner in between this first and second round, and I told her trainer, I said, look, I'm gonna tell you guys so that you understand that I've told her twice. She needs to stop hitting that girl behind the backside of her head. She needs to stop. Next time she does that, I'm gonna take a point. If she does after that, I'm gonna stop the fight. I go, since I've already told you, I'm gonna stop the fight if she does it again. So they go, okay, yeah. Because I'm straight up and I'm cool. I just tell them like it is. It is what it is, So the girl, I assume the girl didn't want to fight because she came out, first thing she did was, okay, fight's over. Bye.
Yeah.
And I did. And that's the only problem I ever had. Because if I say stop punching, they knew that if they kept punching, I'm going to take a point. And I would have, because I've already told them.
Yep.
Now, if you don't learn the first time, you ain't gonna learn at all. So that's what I did. And then if they were fighting and one person grabbed an arm, I wouldn't touch him. I'd say, let go of your arm, pull your arm out, start swinging. That's what I tell them. Put your arm back, start swinging. And guess what they would do? They pull their arm back and start swinging. Guess what does what? Makes better fights. No one wants to see the referee get in there and start break. Okay, break. They have so many breaks in amateurs. That's not your job as an amateur as an amateur referee is not to be in the fight. Your job is to maintain the fight, watch the fight, take care of the fight, not to be in it. So if you're a referee and you're in the fight, get out of their way. Let them handle their business, but be firm and if you say it, do it. If you say it and don't do it, then they're not going to listen to you. I told both sides, if I tell you to stop and you throw another punch, I will take a point. And at the end, I tell them, don't lose this fight on points because you will happen. And I'm serious. Heart attack when I talk about it. Doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. It means I already gave you a warning. There's your warning.
Yep.
After your warning, bye. 1 point, 2 points. Shit, I don't care. You're the one fighting, not me. But kids, when I would walk into a fight, to referee or judge, because you do both at the same time, same night, same day, whatever. Kids would come right up to me, hey man, be my referee, man, be my referee. And I go, hey man, they give me the fights. I don't know which fights I'm going to referee or which fights I'm not going to referee. I don't know. They give them to me. They, oh man, I hope you're one of my referee, because kids understand. Hey man, look, I'm not touching you. I don't want to touch you.
Yep.
Put your arm back and fight. And they did. I didn't bug them. If it's boxing is a sport where you're going to get dazed, you're going to get hit hard, you're going to get hit really hard, and sometimes you're going to hit really hard. But it's going to happen. But that's the sport, and you know the game. And if you don't know the game, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Not if, it's when. And so, but when it does happen, boxing is not basketball, it's not baseball, it's not hockey, it's not hopscotch, it's none of those. It's boxing. So when you watch, if you're a fighter and you're a serious fighter, I guarantee you, you're a good and you have a great trainer, then your trainer is going to put you in there with people that are better than you when you're sparring, because that's what he's supposed to do, because that's how you learn. You learn by your mistakes. And so I've had my butt whooped more in the gym than I ever will in a fight. Because by the time the fight, because we work on stuff in the gym every day. You get in the ring, you spar. See, back in my day, we sparred almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day. Some weeks we did spar every day. After we get out of the ring from sparring, we'd work on what we messed up on. And that's how you did it. And so, because you never really learn, you can train your whole lifetime, but if you never spar, how do you really know it's going to work? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even if you do it for aerobics or for a safety class or something like that, especially women, if you want to learn how to handle yourself, learn to box, learn to miss a punch, learn to miss and deliver. You know what I mean? Yep. So it's really good for everybody. But in order to do it, you got to get in the ring to see if it really works. Because in your mind you might think it is, but in reality, when reality hits, oh shit, is it really going to work? Can I really do it? You won't know until you actually get in the ring and try it. And if you spar with guys that are below you or less than you, you're teaching them. You're not learning anything. You're teaching them. When you start sparring guys that are better than you and hitting you with stuff that you're going, where the hell did that come from? You know, or is my hands down? And so you pick up, you do that while you're sparring. You know, that's how you learn. Remember, you trying to get better. You're not trying to be the same or teach people. You're trying to get better. So, you know, all these trainers that take their kids and, you know, they all get together and they go to different gyms and they spar and do this. If your kid gets his butt whooped at one of those sessions, okay, take him back and figure out why he got beat up that day and have him come back and do it again. Let's start working on some of the stuff that you got hit with. That's part of learning, but nobody wants to do that part of learning anymore. You know, but that's how you become a better fighter. Is sometimes you got to get hit. You know, you go, oh shit, oh maybe I should bob and weave next time. You know what I mean? Or maybe I should keep my hand up. You know, and it's stuff like that that's missing in today's boxing. That's why I think boxing has taken it, and to me, boxing has taken a hit. It's not as tough as it was. It's not as hardcore as it was. They don't fight as hard. Not only because there's so much money to watch, dude. If you're the champion, you're making 10 million, and I'm the opponent, I'm making 3 or 4 million. Dude, win, lose, or draw, I'm a millionaire. What do I care for? How hard are you really gonna fight? You know, especially if your heart ain't. Now, there's some fighters that are heart ain't really in it. They're in it for make a living and get ghosts. That's what they're gonna do. So, and that's what they do. Well, okay, but if you win your next fight, instead of making that $1.5 million or 3 million, you're gonna make 5 or 6. There's got to be some kind of prize at the end of the fight for that guy that's coming up. Like my first, watch this, how old I am. My first fight with Rocky Lopez, my first title fight, I made $30,000. Back then, I've never seen $30,000 in my life. I've never seen $10,000 in my life. You know, I was a poor kid from South Sacramento, hanging out with these fools. You know, for real. You know, we didn't have no money. You know, but that's, you know, we were comfortable with that. I actually really don't think I really don't think we knew we were that poor, but we were. You know, but we didn't know because we had a great life. You know, rather everybody did their different stuff. We had a good time. You know, I never understood. I understood I had to work. You know, I never complained. I like working. To this day, I like working. I'm going to work till the day I die. People say, when you retire? When I'm dead. Why? Why do I need to retire? Why do I need to retire to be happy? Why can't I work and be happy? You know, I like working. You know, I like being busy. I like meeting people. I like goofing off. I like doing crazy stuff. I like doing that stuff. That's just me, though. You know? So, you know, when we were younger, you know, we were running amok at times. But at times we didn't. You know, we're all okay now. You know, we're working. We do what we do. We do our 40s or 50s or 60s, how many hours it takes to work that week. We do what we do. You know, and we're all doing okay.
Yep. And by the way, if you got a plumbing issue, call this guy.
That's right. Tony the Tiger Plumbing, 916. What is my number? 589-0455. Is that right?
599.
No. 5. That's my line.
Oh.
The 589-0455 is my plumbing. So if you're in Sacramento or around Sacramento and you need you have a plumbing issue, whether it be a small one or a big one, I don't care if you want it done right at a way cheaper price. Call Tony Tiger. I'm just saying. Thank you for that. I keep forgetting.
Well, I went on a job with this guy yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
It was masterful.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah, it is fun. You know, we had a good time. See, that's what I like. I like being on my own time. I'm really bad at taking orders. Well, I'm not bad at taking orders because in the gym, that's all I did every day, to take orders. And I did it. And I did it right. I did it like I was supposed to. But it seems like now I don't mind taking orders. You know, I mean.
Well, Kathy's running the show at home.
Yeah. You know, but so I really don't mind taking orders. I could care less. You know. Yeah. Okay, watch. If you, and not just plumbers, but anybody. So now we're talking about it. If you hire a roofer to do a roofing job for you, or a carpenter to do carpentry for you, or a plumber to do plumbing for you, don't walk him in your house and go, okay, here's the problem, and maybe you should snake it from this line, or here, do it from this line. Because watch, I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do. It may not be the problem, but you ain't listening to me anyway. So I'm telling you, that's not the problem. I tell people that's not the problem. That's not where I should start. Oh no, the problem's right here, and you should start right here. Okay, if I put my snake in that hole right there, it's going to be 225. And when it's not that, and it's not the problem, and I have to re-put it over here, it's another 225. So the cost is on you, not me. I'm telling you from experience. Now, if I'm wrong, guess what? It costs you nothing.
Yep.
I just go put it in the other line because I don't get paid till I clear that line. But if you tell me what to do, then I'm going to do exactly, because you're the boss. I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do. And if you're wrong, that's on you, not me. You know? And so if you're that person that likes to give orders that much to the people that are doing their job, and you don't know their job, let them do their job. Because probably, I charge for that. I don't care. I mean, don't waste my time. I'll sit and bullshit with you about boxing and this and that. I like talking with people because they're pretty.
I've noticed.
Yeah, because they're. I noticed. This guy doesn't shut up. No, because because I like to meet people. I like to know what you're about. Everybody pretty much knows what I'm about. I like to know what they're about too. And I help a lot of people. If you're elderly, I'm a sucker for elderly people. They always get big breaks. And dude, let me tell you honestly, I'll BS aside. If they say 1,000, I'm gonna tell you 500 because I'm a little guy. All my stuff is paid for. I don't have bills for nothing, and so I can make a price of what I want it to be. I'm not gonna do it for free. Well, actually, I do sometimes. No, scratch that out. I ain't saying that. But you get these elderly people sometimes, and sometimes I joke with people. People joke back, and the friendlier you are with me, I'm gonna tell you, the cheaper your price will be. It depends on what we're talking and how we're talking. It depends on a lot of things. I had this lady. I charged $225 to clear mainline. I had this lady who goes, "Okay, do you offer discounts?" Sure. And she looked to be over about in her mid-60s, but she like me, really hyper. And then she goes, okay, sure. What kind of discount do you offer that? So I charge her $225 to clear line, and she goes, I'll give you $25 off. And she goes, really? I go, yeah. And she goes, okay. She goes, how about my partner? I go, well, how old is your partner? And we're joking in the meantime. I told her, you don't look that old. She had to give me her ID and all that stuff. and so you gotta have fun with it. You know what I mean? So she brings me her partner's ID, and she's over 65. So I go, okay. She goes, how much does she get? I go, I'll give her another $25 off. So already we're down to what?
175.
175.
Yeah.
She gets me, and so she brings me up. And I said, do you have something to drink? And because it was kind of hot. And I go, she goes, yeah. What do you want? I go, well, I'll tell you what. You have a Pepsi? She goes, I might have Coke. I go, no, it's got to be a Pepsi. And she goes, yeah, wait, I think I do. How much do I get off? And I told her, she got me all the way down to 145. and you know why? Because she was cool, because we had fun. And watch, and if you're that cool with me, watch, and you ask me now watch, if you're not asking for a break, I'm not giving you one. But if you do, and I'm telling you, because I don't care, it's a part of my services that if more people knew it, and I bet you if you did that stuff with more of carpenters and contractors and this and that, you can work your way down. Because a lot of them set their own prices. It's their business. That's what they do. Watch, any business to me is good business. Especially if it's a drain cleaning job, or a faucet, something down in and out, that's where you make your money. The big jobs, you're going to make money, but it's going to take you more time.
Yep.
So, like the other day, I did a job for a gentleman out in Clarksburg, and it was just a small job, nothing really big, but it was an old house, and there was a lot. It had the old galvanized pipes in it, and it was a mess. But I gave him a really good price. And so of course I did it, but it took me all damn day, But see, one job all day is not where I make money. You make money, but you make a lot more money if you get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. If I did 4 or 5 jobs that day, I'm over $1,000 in my pocket, But that one job, you're not even $1,000. But that's the business. It is what
Yep.
it is. So the bottom line is be nice, joke with the people that you hire, because the nicer you are, we're human. We're going to be nice too.
Yep.
And now that we're off
Yeah,
that subject,
and in a way, I'm really good at selling.
uh-huh.
When you're selling, you want to be nice.
Yeah.
And if you're going to ask for a discount, you're selling.
Right.
You're not buying, you're selling.
Right.
So, yep.
So and on that, let's go back to the Canelo fight because we haven't finished talking about that. Yeah, I do that. I'll get on one subject and run with it.
Yeah.
So we got off the Canelo fight. So
Yep.
let's get back to the Canelo fight. I actually thought Canelo did pretty good. He's getting bigger, so people are saying, "Oh, he's getting at his age," and he might be. He's certainly young Canelo, and watch. Everybody can put yourself in his spot. Why? Because common sense puts you there. I've been there where you're getting elderly, you're at that 30th. Because remember, I was 130 pounds, 135, 140. Even at 140, at 130, 29 was old in my time. They called Rocky Lockers the old man. He was 29 years of age. Boxing has changed. It really has. It is. I'm not saying it's gotten better. There's only one other way it could go, but because back in my time, Lockridge was old, and I took him. But see, when I fought Lockridge at 29, I didn't worry about his age. I didn't care about his age because he had just knocked out a young fighter before me, Harold Knight, I think it was. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was Harold Knight that he had beat just prior to me, and so he was taking on all the young fighters at that time. But me, I just thought, well, he fights the style that I fight, so let's just go do this. I'll take it. Hell yeah, I'm down with it. Let's go. And then, because when you're 25 years of age, you all remember being 25. And if you're at 25, you remember this conversation at 50, and you think, that fool was right. Because at 25, you're still stupid. You'll still do all the crazy stuff that others are going to be going, you're nuts, because they've already been there, done that. And so, but you haven't learned yet. Like me at 25, I haven't learned to man, when you get hit with a right hand by Lockridge and you go down, your head bounces off the canvas and you roll over and you look up at the lights and going, oh shit, I better get up. And then you're already up before you finish thinking about it. You're stumbling backwards. And then you're going, because in my head, that's what was really happening. I was stumbling backwards. If you watch it on TV, I never stumbled. That's how bad it was. Dude, when he hit me right above my ear. And it just grazed me. It didn't really hit me. It didn't hit me directly. It kind of like grazed me. But I guess it knocked my equilibrium off. And then when I hit the canvas, I hit head first because I flew back with my head first. I guess I got a heavy head. Big ass noggin. And then I remember rolling over, looking at the lights. And by the time I finished saying, shit, I better get up, I was up. And I'm stumbling backwards. And I remember the referee grabbing my glove and saying, you okay? And I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, box. And that was it Richard Steele? I think it was Richard Steele that was the referee.
Yeah.
And then I remember moving around the ring, like I wanted to jab, but the whole arena was twirling. The whole arena was twirling. And it did that for 2 rounds because I got dropped in the 8th. And the funny thing was, I was watching the fight the next day, and it was all fresh in my head. In the instant that they said, in the 10th round, they said, looks like Lopez is getting his feet under him. That's the exact same time my head started tearing up. And I'm going, wow, that's a trip. And so for 2 rounds, I would go back to my corner, the whole arena was just twirling. And I'm surprised I didn't Ralph or something like that, because if you do that to me today, I'd Ralph.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I wasn't even sick. It's just like, oh wow, and I remember I figured, oh shit, I better start punching, because if not, he's gonna think I'm hurt, and he's gonna jump on me. So I remember I started throwing jabs. I was missing, but I was throwing, and so it's just it's crazy from being on the inside to being on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and
You know?
and the other thing is too with that fight last night, all the talk today, I'm sure, is about Canelo. I mean, Riker took some severe punishment last night and just kept going and going and going.
Hey, you know what? And you got to give him credit, man.
Oh, a lot of credit.
No matter what. Hey, watch. And as Canelo gets bigger, next fight's going to be at the full middleweight.
Yeah, what, 175?
175 or whatever he's going to weigh. You watch. What do you weigh last night?
168.
Okay. Now we're going to put 8 pounds on that boy.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's going to slow down. Because the heavier you are, the slower you are. And it's just, it's not luck. It's not because it's life. It's just how it is.
Yep.
The bigger you are, the slower you are. So he's gonna slow down. And that might be good for him, because he is getting older. He's not a spring chicken, and everybody knows that, and so as a fighter to a fighter, he's not a spring chicken. Going up is a good thing because your opponent's going to slow down because he's bigger. And of course he wants that 175 because he's slower at 175.
Yep.
And even if Canelo weighs 175, I don't know how he makes his weight or not, but whether it's easy or hard, but at 175 it'll be fairly easy. So he might walk into the scales under 175, walk in the ring at 175. The opponent will walk in, if he weighs in at 175, he might walk in at 180, 182. But you know what? 5 or 6 pounds, does it make a difference? Depends on the fighter. Canelo, will it make a difference to Canelo? I don't think so. Either he's going to get beat or he's not.
Yeah. And
he's not.
Who is he going to fight at 175?
I forgot the champion. Or was it the champions going to fight?
Ming, throw the G.
Yeah. And you know what? But watch, it doesn't. I'm not even worried about it because no matter who he fights, he's going to be bigger and slower than Canelo.
Yep.
Canelo's going to need his speed. He's going to be on game. And here's the crazy part: he can win. He may not knock him out because he's a bigger boy.
Yep.
And guess what? And it's not like a street fight. So it's not like, oh man, I see little guys knock out big guys all the time. Okay, what they do. But here's the fact: that big guy doesn't get hit every day. The guy he's fighting gets hit every day, hard, a lot harder than Canelo can hit him.
At the studio.
So guess what? He's used to it.
Tapping.
Canelo hitting him is no big deal, pretty much. You know what I mean? He might catch him,
Yeah.
but most of his punches are going to be no big deal. Why? Because your body gets used to getting hit, and if it don't, then get out of the game and pick up tic-tac-toe or something. I don't know, pick up a new job. Yeah, no, not plumbing, not in Sacramento. That's my area. But and that's really how it's going to go. Now, I kind of like Canelo. People even back in the day when people say, "Oh, Canelo's garbage," no, you know what? I think he's pretty good. No matter what, he's good for the sport of boxing. He's selling big numbers.
Yep.
Crash. Yeah. They're big numbers. So you got to give him credit. Is he the face of boxing? He is right now. So all those Gervonta Davis that thinks he's the face of boxing, no, you're not. I'm just saying, and it is what it is. I just think Canelo did a great job on this fight. I think his opponent. I think people downplayed his opponent.
Yeah.
I think he did pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I just think if the trainers were a little bit better, it would change the dimension of fights. Well, no, I'm telling you, if you're a trainer and you set your fighter in for war and he's not prepared, that's on you, buddy, not the fighter. That's the trainer. So if you're gonna fight for a world title fighter, if you're gonna fight a guy that already has a record, or if the trainer knows. Come on, and the trainer doesn't train you for that fight. Every fight you need to train for. every fight that I fought, every title fight that I had, guess what? If we didn't have a sparring partner that matched his style, I got one fighter or one sparring partner from the I forgot where he was from some small little country someplace because someone knew who he was. And he had the same style that the other guy was going to fight.
Yeah.
His name was Ray Walui. Hello, Ray Walui. And he was a good dude, man. He was a really cool cat. And he loved being in California. You know, because he's from a small country someplace that they found he had the same style as the guy that was going to fight. So that's the manager's job. Do your job.
Well, you know, and Tony, we had talked a little bit yesterday about how you were more of a street brawler versus, you know, we talked about street brawler versus a more calculated strategic fighter.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, if a street brawler came in at any weight right now, I think they would dominate because all these guys like sitting back and just kind of waiting to see what unfolds. Get in there and punch the other guy.
Well,
you know?
It's a different breed this time. When I was fighting, rather you pay $100 for a ringside ticket or $25 for a nosebleed ticket. That's good money. You know,
Yep.
It was good money. It's hard-earned money. So guess what? My feeling was, hey man, I live in Saginaw, bro. I can't go out there and look bad because if I do, I'm here. You know, it's kind of gonna be embarrassing. So I put on a good show, and whether you pay 25 or 125, you know, I put on a good show because that's good. That's hard-earned money. You know, you have a million other things to do in Saginaw besides going to a boxing fight to watch two people beat each other up for that money. You know, you could feed your family, you could pay a bill, you could do all kinds of stuff. For real, that's real. That's really how I felt. But you decided to come here, so guess what? I'm going to give you what you came to see. And but I've always been that way.
Yep.
You know, even in a schoolyard fight, you know, if the kids gather around, oh, there's going to be a fight at school. If people are going to gather around, I'm going to show I'm here for the fight.
That's the mentality of a world champion.
Yeah,
that's the mentality.
You know, but that's how I was, and I've been like that my whole life. My dad was a boxer. My brother was a boxer. I don't really think I talked about that too a whole lot, but my brother Sal Lopez was a boxer, and he was number 3 in the world at one time. And yeah, my brother is a boxer. I'm not a boxer. I'm a fighter. And my brother was a boxer. That boy boxed his butt off. Boy, he was good. And let me tell you something. He was a really good boxer, and but he got an eye injury in one of his fights, and the doctor told him, "Hey man, look, you either keep fighting and take a chance of losing your eyesight, or you can quit." And he was like a few fights from getting a world title fight, dude. And you know what? He decided to quit, which was a good choice.
Smart.
Yeah, a smart choice because at 59 he retired and he's doing very well. You know, and so you know, you got to give like boxers. John Molina, give me problems. You know why? Because if you stand there and fight with me, I'm in it to win it. That's my attitude. I'm 60 years old. But you know what? To this day, I'm in it to win it. My mentality is I'm going to be the last one punching. You are not going to outpunch me. And watch, out of shape, I'm going to beat 85 to 90% of the people out there. Because I don't stop. Boxers, to me, they do this. They're here, they're everywhere. Now, if you come straight at me, that's easy. I don't even got to think about that. But if you start moving, then I got to start moving. I got to start thinking now. You're going to hit me with this. You're going to come over here with that. I got to block this, block, you know, I got to block this, block that. I got to watch this, watch that. That's too much work. I don't want to work that hard. You know, boxing was easy for me. If fighting was easy for you, boxing's hard.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, boxing may not be as, if you put 2 boxers in the ring, that's going to be a boring night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And as a layman, I've always felt, you know, just watch a box. I mean, I've watched a lot of boxing. I've always felt that the fighters, when we talk about, you know, some of the most dominant of all time, I always feel like they were fighters and not boxers. When we talk about the definitions that way, that, you know, the boxers are more calculated, the fighters just get in there and mix it up. And I've always felt the fighters, the good fighters, have always kind of been more dominated the sport. And I felt like last night Canelo was more of a fighter than a boxer. And
yeah,
you know,
I think Canelo's one of them guys that he's kind of like me. He does what he got to do to win a fight.
Yep.
If he has to box, he'll box. If he has to fight, he'll fight. Good thing I didn't have to box too much. My brother taught me how to box, and when I fought Chavez in Mexico, hey Chavez, if you ever want to do an exhibition,
Yes,
I
yes.
wanna
Oh,
do
that would be wherever that is. I'll go. I would go
and watch
see
this.
that.
We could do it in here.
In Sacramento.
We can do it right here in the closet. I don't care. Watch this, because for real, honestly, watch. I went down there 2 months prior to the fight in Mexico, and as soon as we got off the plane, give us a set. In the plane, give us a set. Which means, what are you gonna do in the fight? I told him, hey, look, because my brother was training me, and he trained me to box, and he wanted me to box the whole time. I didn't want to box the whole time. That's not what got me there. What got me there was fighting. That was my forte. And my brother's was not a fighter, he was a boxer. So he goes, no, I want you to box for 10. And so we argued. We got in an argument. It was so bad that he just basically says, okay, screw it. You box for 10 rounds, the last 2 rounds, do what the hell you want to do. And we were cussing at each other. and he goes, so the last 2 rounds, you can do what the hell you want to do. If you want to blow the fight at that point, blow it. Because I don't care. Go ahead and do what you want. Because I was pissed. I wasn't out of shape for that fight, but I couldn't train comfortably knowing all I had to do was box. I don't want to box.
Yeah.
I didn't get here by boxing. And so finally we agreed. I said, okay, I'll box for 10 rounds. Last 2 rounds, we're going to war. So, that was the way that my mentality for that fight was, I'm going to box for 10. We're going to war. Rather you knock me, I'm not afraid to get knocked out. So if you knock me out brawling, more power to you. But if I knock you out brawling, good on me. I don't care. Either way, I'm satisfied. So we had an agreement. So I went down to Mexico and they said, what are you going to do? I said, look, I'm going to box for 10. I'm knocking him out in the last 2. I said, championship rounds, someone's got to go. I go, and it's going to be him. I said that the whole time I was there for 2 months. The whole time I was there, I was saying, last 2 rounds, we're going to war. So the fight happens. That night, the fight happens. Second round, the bell rings, and then, he hits me after the bell. You can watch the fight. It's on YouTube. The bell ring, bam, and then all of a sudden he hits me after the bell ring. A little 2-stitch cut under my eye here. Never opened up any bigger. Never got any worse. Blood was coming out on the side of my face, not in my eye. I think I might have wiped my eye maybe once or twice from that point on. And then I was due. 10th round was coming. I swear to you, I'm moving around the ring thinking, okay, next round. I'm prepared to go to war. I am ready. Let me go back to the first round. First round goes out. My brother says, okay, go out and start boxing. Tell me how he hits. He comes back to the bell rings. I come back to the corner. It's the exact words of what we said. My brother goes, how hard is he hitting? I go, hits like a bitch. Let me go. That's exactly what I said. I said, let me go. He goes, no, stick to the game plan. We already have it made up. Stick to the game plan. I said, okay. So we went out, and there was one round. I think it was the 6th or 7th round. It's on YouTube. You can all check that out too. So it's in the 6th or 7th round. Chavez did. I don't remember what it was. He made a look. I think he looked at me like you ain't nothing. I don't remember if it was beginning. I think it was the end of the 5th or 6th round. So the next round, I went out and I was pissed. My attitude was, if you do, you ain't nothing. That was my attitude. So I remember going out for the next round, and it's a round that Chavez ran backwards the whole time. Because I was, and when I got back to the corner, I got scolded. My brother says, no. And he goes, what are you doing? He goes, you're supposed to box, not fight. Because I went after him. And all he did the whole round was back on. He was on his bicycle, and it's on YouTube. You can see it. So then I went back to boxing or doing whatever they do. 10th round happened. I got 2 more rounds left. I swear to you, I'm going. I'm in the ring. I'm going, and I'm thinking about the next round. I'm thinking, this is gonna be great. It's gonna go down. I'm going for broke. Whatever. And then so referee stops the fight out of the blue. Goes. Doesn't really say nothing, just motions for me to come to him. I'm going, what's he doing? So I walked to the ring. I never thought he was sick, even messing my eye because it never bothered me. Goes to the doctor in the corner. We're on top of a ring, which is about what 3 feet high, 3.5 feet high, and then I'm 6'9". Okay, I'm 5'7". So I'm about 9 feet in the air, right? My face is about 8.5 feet in the air, and then the doctor goes, "Oh no," and I'm gonna tell you how he told me, "Oh no, ya se acabó," which means, "Oh no, it's over, it's over." I'm going. So I told him, I go, "Let me finish this round," because the round had just started. I go, "Let me finish this round." Talk to him in Spanish. I go, "Let me finish this round. If I don't knock him out, you can take it from me. I'll never say a word." And he looks at me and goes, No, ya se acabó, ya se acabó. I'm like, screw you, you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. And to be honest, that fight in my whole career is the only fight that I have a problem with. You know, it pisses me off.
Yeah, you never got the chance.
I never got the chance to do what I went to do. And I went to beat him down. And I was gonna do it in the last 2 rounds, and I never got a chance. And for that, it makes me sad. No,
Yeah.
but you know, you train so hard and never get to do what you want to do. It's kind of like a slap in the face. It's even more than that. It's like a hard slap in the face.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, so that's the only fight that ever pissed. So watch this. Hey Chavez, if you ever want to do a celebrity boxing match, let's do one. You know, I gotta fulfill what I need to fulfill anyway in my time, not just you. You know what I mean?
People would watch that.
They would need to, because I'll tell you what, I'd actually get in shape for that.
Yeah.
12 rounds of adrenaline promotions.
Hell yeah, you know what? And I do it. You know, well, you know, they're all these old fighters are doing all these.
Yeah, Tyson did a couple years ago.
Hey, you know what? We were talking in the car, and I'm not sure how new he was, but Lennox Lewis fought on one of my undercards. And I didn't know who he was at the time. I just knew he was this real tall brother that was a heavyweight, and he sat in a chair like the one I'm sitting in. And then, you know, he sits down with legs spread out like this, and we were in Reno. And I was training in Lake Tahoe, but we went to go do a press conference in Reno, and he was on the undercard. And I was fighting a title fight, and he was one of the undercards. And I'd never seen him before in my life, never heard of him. And so I don't know if it was his first fight in the United States or second, but it was close to him being brand new here. And then so he's laying out with his legs stretched out. I get done from seeing the doctor, and I'm walking by, and you know me, I'm always talking smack, you know. So one of these days someone's gonna slap me anyway. But I'm always talking smack, and I'm being funny, you know. So I'm walking by, and his legs are stretched out like this, and he's sitting there talking to some other fighters, and I stop at his legs, and I look at him, and I'm not laughing. I just look at him, and he looks at me, and he has a smile on his face. I go, "You gonna move your legs?" And I'm looking at him real seriously. You gonna move your legs? He goes, oh, sorry. I go, "Dude, really? You moved your legs?" I go, "Dude, I'm 5'7", bro. I mean, really?" You know, and it was funny. And that was my first words to him, you know. And you know, he went out and did his thing, and you know, but it's kind of cool once you get to look back on your career, and like, you know, I've done a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of cool stuff, you know, a lot of neat stuff. You know, I did stuff with Mike Tyson when I was fighting for King. King, watch, let me give you a little story on King. And then, I know this.
Who's King?
Don King. and let me tell you a little story about Don King. I'm telling you my story. I don't care about your story. You get your own show. You can talk about King on your story, but this is mine. So I don't care what anybody says about Don King. I learned a lot about. Well, no, we both agreed on a lot of stuff with Don King. I fought for Don King 5 times. And you know, we went down to Vegas, and me and my dad and my attorney. And so, you know, we went down to Vegas, and we sat down King, talked to him, and you know, it's an animated story. I'm gonna give you the short version. One of these days, you really want to hear the long version, because it's a great story. And at the time, it was just life, but now it's a story because it was so cool. Anyways, Tyson was there. It was just crazy. It was a crazy thing when we knocked on his door in his suite at Caesars in Las Vegas. And then, you know, King Tyson was there. He was doing something, and he was buying something, and they were yelling back and forth, and they were yelling dollar prices. And King was saying, man, he says it's gonna cost this much. And Don King was telling, hey man, then you better buy shoes. That you ain't gonna find it for that price. And what they were talking about was a good price. I mean, it was still a lot of money back then, but it was a good price. And then so I had my Rolex watch on, got my diamond bezels on it and shit. And I'm like, yeah, what's up, trying to be flashy, got my rings on and stuff. I'm trying to be flashy. And they're talking about prices of what they're buying. I'm going, oh well, let me hide my stuff under the table. You know what I mean? And so it was just a neat thing to be in at the time, and it just happened to happen. And King's talking about, he's laughing, ha ha, and all the stuff that he does, and he's starting to say what he's 5 fights. He goes, I signed the contracts and blah blah blah, and then but like he said, he goes, and he in the ha the whole time, and he goes, and all of a sudden he stops because I said, well. John Verger, who was an attorney for Sacramento, leans over to grab the contract, and King goes real fast, pulls one back because he has 2 sets of contracts on the table. Pulls one back and he says, "Who's that?" Oh, that's my attorney, because I introduced him as my dad and John Verger. I didn't say my attorney John Verger. I just said John Verger. And I go, oh, that's my attorney. And he goes, oh, and starts sliding out these other 5 contracts. So there's 2 sets of 5 contracts there. One, and he pushed this one out, he pushed out these other ones. And I go, so I had the stupid smile on my face. I go, what was that? And then he got dead serious. He went from ha and he to real life. It's a contract signing, son. Really. And he goes, you know what, Mr. Lopez? I see you're a man about your business. He goes, you want to be world champion sat in that same damn chair without an attorney? I go, no. He goes, a lot. He goes, and then they wonder why. He goes, I'm in the business to make money, just like you. Yeah. And he goes, look, man. He goes, I'm the one taking the risk, which he is. The promoter takes all the risk. The promoter has to put out, like for a Tyson fight, he had to put out millions of dollars before he can have a fight.
Yeah.
So, and that had to be in the bank solid before the fight even got signed. So he has to do a lot of stuff. Now, if the fighters don't produce, who loses? Not the fighters, because they get paid. The promoter loses.
Yep.
So why shouldn't the promoter? I never got mad at that. Why should the promoter not make all the money? He's the one taking all the risk. I'm doing my job. I'm not taking a risk. I think I can whoop anybody anyways. So what risk is it for me? And all fighters should feel that way. If you're a fighter and you don't feel like you can whoop the world, or at least anybody that they put in front of you, then you're not a fighter. Go take up hopscotch. For real. And so the promoter's the one taking all the chances.
Yes, so did you end up signing in the suite there?
Yeah, but watch this. It was crazy because he starts telling me, he's telling me all this story about how many fighters have sitting there, blah blah blah. And he goes, you know what? You're gonna make a lot of money in this business. He goes, why? Because you know what to do. And he pointed to John Verger. Bring your attorney. It's crazy that he takes all the heat for all this stuff. When in fact, when you own a business, you're in business to make money. So when you do that, like I'm a plumber. Watch. If you did your own plumbing, it'd be cheaper. Why do you call me? Because you don't know how. Because I'm going to do it right. And if I don't do it right, I'll come back and do it for free. Right? Because that's what we do. And so if you do it for yourself and don't do it right, guess what? After you mess it up and I come in, I'm going to charge you more because you've already played with it and messed it up more. So the cost goes up. It is what it is. So it's the same thing. If King is putting out all the money and it's his show, you're just the star of his show, but he's making all the money because he's the one taking all the chances.
Yep.
When you have a concert, name someone big time right now, and he's making a concert. They're paying him a few $100,000 or millions of dollars or whatever it is.
Look, it's the laws of economics.
Right. So the promoter doesn't make all the money. Of course, the promoter makes all the money. No one ever talks about it, but it's the same thing. The promoter, if the singer's making $10, the promoter's making 30, 40, 50. That's the way it is because he's taking all the chances. You know, shouldn't he be making all the money? Of course he should. I'm not mad. I was never mad at King. King to me, no, King paid me the most. As I've had, King paid me the most out of every promoter I've ever fought for. He paid me the most, except for he paid me as much as when I fought in South Africa. I fought in South Africa, which was really, really good. And that was during apartheid. I fought during apartheid, and it was a really, really cool experience to be there. If you ever take a vacation, you want to go to South Africa, go to Sun City, South Africa, and okay, Sun City, South Africa, and you want to stay at a place called the Palace. It is the neatest place in the world. It's awesome. It's a resort. That's it. We got to go there.
Tony, thanks for having
Hey,
me.
man,
It's been an honor.
Hey man, you know what? And say your website again.
Autorequest.com.
It's scrolling at the bottom of the, it's scrolling down right now.
Okay, good.
I see it.
And here's what he does. And he's just a great. He's now a friend. He's not just a business partner, because he's now a friend. So what he does is, if you know an athlete or are an athlete in any sport, in any place, anywhere in the United States, you contact him on that website. What he does is it's no cost to the celebrity at all. No cost to the athlete or movie star or whatever you are. If you got fans that want your autograph, he can help you out. It's not going to cost you a dime. You'll get paid on the spot. It's neat stuff. It's a win-win for everybody. Now, you know, and again, I appreciate you coming down here.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
You know,
I've had a great time.
Name of your business again?
Autorequest.com is the website.
Give a phone number.
No phone number. Autorequest LLC.
It's scrolling down.
Okay, it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
Contact him if you are a celebrity or know a celebrity. Tell the celebrity to write that email down.
Yep.
And get a hold of this guy. He's a great guy. You'll have a lot of fun, and you can make some money.
Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, tomorrow we
With
have
Harold Presley.
Harold Presley.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.